All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. All right, so while we're getting this going, loading up here, take a moment here to thank all of you for coming here and spending a moment of your precious time here with this precious family. And I do mean precious. Alrighty here. Give me a minute to kind of take a deep breath and get settled in myself there. Okay, here we are, June 1st, 2024, and we've had a big eruption, another X flare off the sun here. We've had 3 of them in a row, back to back to back, within about 24-hour period. 3 in 24. 324. Anyways, we're going to get into that a little bit some more here. There was something different about this one, and, well, we'll go through it a little bit here and point it out and see what you think. All right, so let me catch the opening frame here, and then we'll pluck through this frame by frame. So opening frame 024, June 1st, 2024. Okay, here we go. As we start going through, we had this one. This was our X flare from last night, or the one we reported on last night. Little object zooming out of here. Don't let those guys sneak by unnoticed. And we're just going to keep marching forward here until we get to our event. Another couple spits and sputters there. This event here appears to be a dark round object right here with plasma trailing back behind it right here. It's very faint. Well, actually what we can do is something like this here. That helps it a little bit. We can see our dark circular shape right here. All right. Now let's brighten this back up here. Then as we proceed here, we have our big blast right here. Boom. Creating a full halo eruption. You see the full halo? Okay, and that's coming our direction. Then you can see we have round black spheroid right here. There appears to be something else down in here. But then as we proceed here, let's go back. Yeah, that one right there. All right, this CME blast looks almost circular like this, almost like a wheel standing up, like a tire or a wheel, doesn't it? So if it looks circular vertically, tilt your head 90 degrees to the right. Try to do this with me nice and slow. Tilt your head 90 degrees to the right, and you can make out the windows, and you can make out the structure on the top of this, well, a disc or some kind of ship there. I don't know. Let's back up a little bit. Wait. No, let's go forward a little bit. Did you see it move through there? Let's back it up a little bit. I know I wish we could rotate the whole computer or whatever. Ooh. Why can't we? Oh, because the mouse? Well, I'm just going to have to do it this way. Right there. Let's go back a frame or two to right there, I think is 2148. Yeah, that's 2148. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. You can come over here and mess around with this too. But let's go ahead and finish off this rest of this day here. All right, now I'm going to put it back into motion. And maybe we'll slow it down just a tad bit when we get there. Could you see that? Well, maybe if you tilt your head to maybe 45 degrees to the right. You don't have to do a full 90, but you'll see it. I don't know. It looks very, very different, a very different type structure. It almost looked vertical, like a tire standing up, until you tilt your head to the right. We'll try and capture it when it comes out one more time here. And there's this one here too. No, that's a sneak by, but just very strange shape. And then when you turn your head to the right, it looking mighty peculiar. Now, let me put that back into motion again. Get up to the event. All right, now let's try speeding it up a tad bit here. Whoops, that was a little too fast right there. Right there it should be. Oh, it skipped right there. All right, well, there's your activity on the sun for today. All right, let's get on over here to Solar Ham where we have 3 X's in a row. There's no in between them. They're X flare, X flare, X flare, all back to back, all out of region 97 there. Okay. And when you look up here within the 24-hour time frame, we've had 3 X flares. All right. So our activity's picking up here. And let me get this corrected and zoomed in real quick for you guys. Bear with me for a second. All right, good shot there for you guys. All right, now each one barely touched the X flare line, but that's still a lot of energy. They were X 1.1, 1.4, and 1.0. Okay, so wasn't really powerful, but 3 in a row. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, now let's pull back real quick and then come over here. Our indices are getting higher and higher. We were at 170. Now we're at 188. This one's up to 194 now. It did a big jump. Okay, the area is a lot of area, but that doesn't matter right now. Our indices are slightly increasing and increasing. You know, we were down here, then we came up here. Now we're up here. So we're getting closer and closer to that that threshold where we're at M status, and it just takes any little small one will make an X flare. So a lot of red on the screen. X flare potential 35%, M flare 75. We got your proton potential 25, but nothing going on right now. That's good. Our June 2nd thing is erased. Well, it's is now past. Our 31st and first event finally came, and now we have no nothing for the second, nothing for the third, but possibly a G2 on the fourth. Okay, and all three of those X flares came out as 97. That's old Region 64. That's the one that we've been watching carefully. And here, 91 is beta gamma. It doesn't have the delta configuration anymore, so that's a sigh of relief. Even though it's very dangerous, at least doesn't have the beta gamma delta configuration. But the bad boy that still does is this one. Okay. Pop open our KP real quick here. As you can see, since this little event right here, we haven't had much. There was this little bump right there as it descended down to almost nothing right here. But there was our little spike, our little impact that we had, okay? And KP 4.5, it's not too much. Right now, the auroras are very quiet. Here, let's just pop them up. You can see that they're... well, they're pretty dim tonight. Very, very hardly there. So that's good. We're not taking on a bunch of energy, but we will be soon here. So let's open up the tracker real quick and do a little track-a-lacking, shall we? This one's not showing the latest one. This is the one that was still due on the 1st. Okay. They don't have any updated tracking of our latest event, just this. And thankfully, that event is heading away from us. But we still do have a full Halo event that's coming at us, and it just hasn't been updated yet. So, back to the regular report. Okay, whoops. All right, so here we are. Active sunspot region 97, X64, continues to produce strong solar flares. The latest event was an impulsive 1.0 solar flare at 1836. This was quickly followed by a long-duration M7.3 event at 1940. The M7 flare is responsible for an asymmetric halo coronal mass ejection. Okay, so the one that's coming at us is going to be from the M7, thankfully. It's an asymmetric halo. Okay, so it's not a perfect round circle, but you know, I talk about flow asymmetries and asymmetric. So there's the responsible for the asymmetric halo coronal mass ejection that appears to be Earth directed. A passage past our planet will be possible within 48 to 72 hours. Geomagnetic storming may be possible on Monday or Tuesday. Further updates will be added via solarham.com. Thank you, Solarham. Let's just watch their little movie real quick here because go full screen one or two. Give me. Sometimes. All right, so the Impulsive X1 right there, the M7.3. And that's a long duration one because, well, it looked like that craft that was moving out of there was going kind of slow, dragging a lot of stuff out. They even showed it and they don't see it. Well, maybe it's not there. Who knows? You can come over and be the judge of that as well. Okay. If I could just get this to click and scroll on down. Hang on for a second, computers. Recycling this. All right, coming on over to spaceweather.com. Let me take a sip here real quick. Where's my soda? CME hurled into space by yesterday's fusillade of X flares will strike Earth early next week, probably on June 4th. This impact could spark a strong G3 class geomagnetic storm with auroras at mid latitudes. All right. So we got a G3, and these guys say maybe G2. All right. So we'll see. Once we get some more data coming in, we'll see. So a G2 to a G3 coming around the 4th. Okay. Now, with auroras at mid latitudes again. All right. So our magnetic field isn't as strong. And when we get clipped by something even smaller than an X flare, because this will be out of the M7, remember, can strike auroras at mid latitudes. All right. Now back to this. X flare after X flare after X flare after X flare. Exploding like popcorn, Sunspot 64, also known as 3697, produced 3 X flares on May 31st and June 1st. The third, a long duration X1 class event, hurled a Halo CME almost directly towards Earth. Okay, so the Halo CME we saw is directed towards Earth. Official forecast models are not yet available for the incoming CME. However, we can make a good guess for the ETA, June 4th. The impact could produce a strong G3 class geomagnetic storm. All right. So G3 or G2, whichever it's going to be when it hits around June 4th. So when we're doing weather forecasts tonight, keep June 4th in the back of your mind there, and we'll remind me if I forget. We'll focus on activity on June 4th and possible enhancement. Okay. Now, continuing on. 64 has been decaying for days, and what makes it so active? This magnetic map provides the answer. We showed you this map before last night. Hey, Carl Burlingame, nice to be with you. Welcome. Put up your feet, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the show. All right. Like new faces. All right, now back to where we were here. The complexity, it's not a bunch, but it is, there are a lot of little tiny sunspots. All right, so we're looking for positive is blue, negative is red. Well, there's a combination. It could go that way. This could touch over that. This could connect. There's a blue here. Those two could connect. Oh, there's a red here. Those two could connect. Here's a little bit of blue. That could connect. That could connect. So there are multiple connection points. All right. But the main two are these two that are the strongest. All right. Even these are pretty, well, they're still very healthy, we'll say. All right. Now, within the sunspot primary core, the two oppositely signed magnetic poles are crowded together, and when this happens, the magnetic recombination can cause very powerful explosions, just like a negative wire and a positive wire coming out of the wall socket or out of the car battery. You touch them and you get a spark. So it's arcing is basically what it does. It connects a circuit and arcs. So that brings your X flare potential up to 35%. Okay, now that was it on that. Yeah, there's all these, but the ones to watch are the ones that are exactly 1 lunar distance. All right, because that could what is exactly 1 lunar distance away from us? The moon? Well, the asteroid at 1 lunar distance would miss us, but it could hit the moon. So a lot of these are, pretty not even close. So, but watch those ones that are at 1 lunar distance. They appear in light pink, so they don't seem that threatening, but that could cause a problem if something happened there. All right, moving on. Let's get on over here to our Schumann now. And doesn't that look a lot better? You can see we had a little weakness here. It comes back and it gets strong and then it gets weak a little bit, but it comes back. And right now we got good continuity, nice, smooth. Finally, a little break from the roller coaster ride, right? And an indication that our pressure Even when we get inbound energy, it seems that we can, the Earth has found its little mechanisms to vent it properly without it building up and causing a catastrophic event. Okay. So let's get on over here. Well, I mean, major catastrophic. We want to get over here to the air. Put on the wind. All right, let's take a peek at the United States and the upper jet stream right now. Okay, upper flow is just going way up into British Columbia, just skirting the northern borders, and then going way up into Canada, coming back down. We also have this peel off right here, and it's shoving stuff down into the Gulf. And the peel off is kind of bringing stuff over, combining with this cold air coming out of Canada here, blasting down across the Great Lakes, and you see this pink patch right here. So we got this flow going on like there, and look at what's this peel off spot right there. And we'll just kind of leave it like that for a second. Let those flow asymmetries kind of sink into your brain a little bit there. Go back an hour. Ooh, didn't really see that one. So that was, how many we go back? One. That was it right there. Or was it this one? That's not even regular time. You know what? Let me see something here. Yeah. Yep, June 1st, 24, 1800 local. That's our weather pattern right now. That other one was old. Glad I looked. But at that moment, you saw that spheroid action happening. All right, so we have this fetch coming in off the British Columbia, a lot of it peeling away and coming back out. The rest fanning out and just hitting all the states nice and wide. It's not really slamming together for like the hot cocktail, except off hit the coast here. So that's kind of a good little pattern for the moment. A little bit of, intense stuff down below, but that's not too bad overall. All right, now we're still at the first. Gotta check that every time now because these guys, man. All right, now we're at our lower jet stream. We see correlation. Here's a big chunk of energy coming in off the Pacific. So we have a new flow going on out there in the Pacific that's causing this now down at the weather level. Okay, so here we have our big trough right here going through and around. Meanwhile, here in America, you can see we still have this, this thing rotating up here is still dragging a tail of moisture off of the Gulf and bringing it up through the country right there. And then we also have another little fetch that's feeding stuff over here along along the foothill of the Rockies right there. Oops. We pull back just a little bit. Let's see that a little bit better. Okay, so there's that. Now, where was the storm at? I was looking at the other day. Well, maybe it made landfall and disappeared. All right, so there's your weather pattern for right now. Let's also do our sandstorms. Make sure this is the right date. Yep, June 1st, 2024. All right, so a little patch up here by the Caspian Sea. Still this going on over here by the Gobi Desert. Most of North Africa still. A little bit here and a little bit there, but not all in all, not too bad. So, little improvement right now, which is good. I'll take any little bit of improvement. The less particles we got kicking up, the better. Now let's get on over to our SO2. Shall we take the winds off? We're still on this one. Okay. Bring America on over here. Zoom on in. There we go. The country divided. Half of it bleeding out on one side, this side kind of clearing up. All right, we still have down south here. It's starting to, the flooding's starting to recede here, and you can see this gas is starting to, take over again. All the little perforation holes are clearing up, and it's starting to pump out of the ground there again. Okay, so there's ours right now. And then let's come down here and check theirs. All right, not too bad right now. You can see these other ones are a lot faint, a lot more, either more faint or fainter. They're not as dominant, okay? And now you see what I'm saying. Some nights we're looking at them, they're really dark purple. Now they're not so strong. Okay, there we go. This area down here used to extend a little further down, so it's receded a little bit. We still have intense, purple here, but it's not black or anything like that. Stop on over to Hawaii. It's still kind of doing its thing. Okay. Little SO2 coming out of the ground over here off the coast, right on the beach right here, just off the volcano. Okay, and then we come over here to China, and you can see that there's dark. They got all kinds of pressure down below pushing this gas out. Some of these spots are really dark and even going black. See a little, oh, good, it picked it up. Little black dot. And then let me show you really quick. Over here on this chart, the color scheme goes pink. The whites are, medium. Then we start getting to the orange, the pink, the dark purple, blue, and then black. All right, black being the maximum. And there's your little spot where a lot of SO2 coming out of the ground right there. It relieves a lot of pressure in that region as well, but they got a big issue. This gas is poisonous too. It's not like you can just go breathing SO2 all day. It will have effects. All right, India's got its issues. We look over here, Saudi Arabia got their issues. Up here in Europe and Russia. All right, so it's happening everywhere. We come down here. Africa is like one of the cleanest places, or the clearest places, but it's still got an intense spot down there. Okay, and then Java. Sorry, I'm all over tonight. It's been a long day. This life has been a long marathon. All right, here we go. A couple of spots here at this northern part of the island here are two intense spots. Probably Sumatra and Merapi, or neighboring spot, venting a lot of the SO2 in that region. And I bet if we turn on the winds, it's blowing that stuff out to the sea there. Now, maybe it's just kind of bleeding over. Anyways, let's take the wind off of there. So, a lot of, not a lot. You can see that it's just down to these two little spots right here, and this whole island right here is lightened up as well. So, pressure's kind of lower right now, which is good. We can, it's good when the pressure balances out and it's not so intense and it's not pumping dark purple. That's good. All right, let's get on over here. Oh, wait. Got one more thing here. Should we? No, we don't need to look at that right now. Let's just get on over to our earthquakes. Okay, up here we are at Fiji, 4.9, but this is really shallow. This is at 6.2. This is right off the island right there. They might be having a little, almost looked like it was maybe on the flank of this, if this was a volcano, but it doesn't really. All right, so I figured that would be our deep quake, but it's not. It's a, 4.9, which we call a 5 at this channel. 4.5, there's a deep quake right there. A mid-range 4, down at 516. There's our mid-range quake, or our deep quake for the day. Let me pull back just one more frame. All right. So, deep quake, we had a very shallow quake right there. And then let's come along this little boundary. We have a 5.2 down at 35. And what's this one? Well, basically a 5 here at 56. So 2 5s, a 5 and a 5.2, not necessarily right on the boundary, but they're on this little shelf. There's a mountain top right here, little plateau maybe type shelf area, but it's down below that. Okay, so we covered that region. Let's go this area quiet. We had one at the very entrance yesterday, but so far the rest of the area quiet until we get up here with a mid-range 4 down at 29. Here's a 4.7 down at 195. 4.8 at 68. 5.1 at 39. There's a little bit of relief of pressure. It's not right at the surface, though. Notice Java, very quiet. No quakes around Java. But here on this island where we saw the color lightening up, we do have a quake. This relieves some of the pressure in there, lightening up that island, the color of it. Remember the purple on it. 4.6 down at 46. Now, what do I need to say about this spot? How many times has this been the fulcrum point doing its job with a 5.0 at 10? There's your energy being relieved at the surface with a 5 at the fulcrum point. Perfect. It's doing its job. And then look, nothing after it, nothing on this side and nothing after it. It relieved a lot of pressure in that zone. And what was this one? A 4.6 at 46. Okay, this little lone quake up here is a 4.2 at a depth of 10 up here in Russia. Okay, so, well, it's right on the Black Sea here. So, 4.2 at the surface there. That's almost kind of a, not a diverse quake, but it's not in our regular pattern, right? So that's what would make it diverse, is it's not your normal activity. It's kind of outside the spectrum or something. You know what I'm saying? And then here, let's just look real quick. You see this little mountain range right here? The foothills down below here where these mountains meet the, flat plateau area is a weak spot along there. And this is where you get springs and hot springs and little vents and fissures that follow, this boundary right along here. And just off it, down the river here is our surface quake. Not at the surface, it's down 10 kilometers. It's not way down there, but it's pretty close. So a little spot to watch here now. Do you see the soft zone that I'm talking about? It's kind of like a soft zone, almost like the beach is with water inundation, but here we have a soft zone where mountains thrust up out of they've been pushed up out of the ground, right? So you got a lot of weak spots along the periphery, around the outside of it. The foothills would be the transition area. An interesting spot. We'll have to watch that. It almost looks like it has this little fulcrum point type structure here. Well, yeah. This coming over. That's your plate boundary, but your mountain boundary would be this up here. I think it kind of looks like that. If we back away from it and just look at the mountain, that'd be on the other side of that fulcrum point. Interesting. That's a place to take note of. Let's put a little pin thing on that for when pressure does build up and we're looking for a new weak spot. This is a path of least resistance type quake where energy made it all the way up to the surface here, and we had a path of least resistance. Usually it's a big quake with a bunch of little, small flurry afterwards, but every once in a while these diverse ones might hint at possible future activity is what I'm trying to say. As we get into here, I'm interested in this one right there. 4.2 with a tsunami alert. Really? Probably 4.3 or 4.2. The quake right next to it's a recent one at 3. So 4 made it there. What made it right here? 3. All right. So 3 coming over the hump here, coming down. What do you guys think that's going to be right here? You guys want to play some bets and put some money on it? Nah, let's just pop up our 3.9. What? I thought it was going to be a little smaller. Do you guys see that? 3.9. That's not a huge quake, but that's more energy than I was expecting to come in, because it's usually a little less than what came over the hump here. So 3.9, everybody, in the Juan de Fuca. Before we hop into America and I change to all magnitudes, let's clean up the rest of this real quick. 5.1 here at 95, 4.2 and 4.5. Whoa. 3.1 up here in Montana. A 3.1 here in Utah. 3.1s. 3.9. 2.3 there. Okay, before we get over there, let's just check. Oh, beautiful. It's flurrying perfectly. Look at all these microquakes. That's awesome. And a bunch of them are red right here. See, these ones in red are all recent. So recent little flurry right now going on with, little 1.6s, 1.1s. It's not a bunch, but they're little microquakes, and it's good that they do that because it releases energy instead of one big quake, a 6.0 popping off out of there. All right, so down here again in this region, this is the Hayward Fault line area, probably around there. It runs parallel with the San Andreas right here. So I've been kind of watching this area, and now look what we have here today. It's not just one quake, it's this little area of this pocket of quakes with 1.7, 2, 3 being the biggest, 2, 2.6 being the biggest. Power lines. All right, so interesting little tidbit here. A new little spot here in the Bay Area to watch. Okay, so for people that live in the the Bay Area or whatever, just take note. You got a little activity rumbling through that Hayward Fault or whatever fault it is. There's a couple in there, 0.6, but it's probably close to that one. There's another 0.6. All right, so some micro quaking down here as well, relieving pressure. What's this? 3.4. All right, so looking over here, we all know what's going on there. Oklahoma. Lake Erie, Ohio, 1.7. And then this, our little spot over here by New York, coming back to life again. Nothing big, but 1.8, 1.0. Little reminder, it's still a weak spot. Just a little thing going, hey, let me remind you, I'm still here. Don't forget about this area. There was 2 quakes here too. Just get in on it really quick. 2.6 and 1.7. Okay. Right along that soft zone right there again. All right, so there's your quake activity for today. Ooh, really quick, let's just take a little peek up in here. Here we are at Mount St. Helens again with a little flurry on the top here. Just 3 little quakes. A little, not even one in magnitude, but still a little reminder. Hey, Mount St. Helens, the last the last recent volcano in America to go off in the continental United States, right here, and now we've got earthquake activity at it. Just kind of monitor it a little bit. Little activity up here, Puget Sound, but nothing. All right, good. I think we're done now. Oh, right around Central Pacific. Central Western Oregon. Can't speak a little bit. WCM and FAB. W and FAB. Okay, well, we're going to go off the coast of Oregon right there and take one more peek in there for you. 3.9, Bandon, Oregon, off the coast right there. Right across from this volcanic feature. Hello, Puppet. What we got here? Do we have a map? Oh, come on now. Yeah, what is this thing? It's some mine or something. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, I think that does it. Okay, now let's get on over to my the volcano report. But I'm going to take out some of these instruments first. So bear with me for a second here. Get rid of that one, can we? All right, now let's get a volcano page open. It's just kind of best we do it this way because it jams up and then it takes even longer if we just shortcut it. So might as well. Here we go. Do you see up there 32 erupting, 26 in warning, and 26 in unrest? Okay, that's a lot of volcanoes. Please, I just want to click open the report. Thank you. Political season and political ads. Did you ever wonder, all that campaign donation money goes to, well, ads on TV, right? How rich are you guys making the TV industry, huh? By donating to political causes that goes right to those guys. Never mind. Fuego, Popo, Semaru, Ibu, Dokono, Marapi, Sangai, Luatobi. Here's Epico. Not identifiable satellite imagery. Okay, Ibu, 27,000? What? There's a big release of pressure right there. No wonder why the Schumann dropped. 27 out of this one? Wow. High level eruption reported. No kidding. Luatobi, 8,000. Semaru, 15. It's maximum that we've seen. The unknown height at Marapi. 8,000 out of Ducono. 19 out of Popo. 15 out of Fuego. Nevada del Ruiz back on the active list with a 24,000 semi-foot active blast. Semi-foot active blast? Active. Sangay, another 24. 24 seems to be a theme. 22 out of Sabancaya. And that was on the second. That was just in the last 10 minutes since it turned a second. Now, let's get into what was the first. Oh, one of these days I will support you, and you will see an upgrade like you never could imagine. All right, I'm trying to get to the first here. Can we? Lord, please. Give it just a second here. Probably an ad or something loading, please. There we go. All right. Recahenus, everybody. Still got to watch that. It's still erupting. It had the big curtain. A lot of lava came out of that. That was a lot of pressure relieved right there. When you see an entire fissure, you got to remember, that's a fissure in the ground. It's a tear in the skin. It's not a pinhole like some of our other volcanoes. It's like a pinhole in the skin of the balloon. This is an actual little tear that lets out a lot of pressure. And you see those curtains or those fountains shooting really high. That's a lot of pressure coming out of a big region, a big tear in the Earth's surface. And that tear runs right along the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge. Okay. A lot of activity going on there. Let's just read real quick. The IMO has updated its hazard assessment maps. The ongoing eruption, zones 1, 5, and 7, have been downgraded from high hazard to considerable. All right, good. So they have downgraded a little bit. The eruption is not as intense. It's diminishing, we'll say, because our pressure down below has been vented and relieved, and it diminishes with diminishing pressure. A stronger than usual explosion at Ibu here. This is that one we were talking about. And about a month. No, it's been about a couple weeks back. I was looking down the mountain range and I saw a thunder cloud. A cloud, mind you, it wasn't ash, but it was a cloud that was shaped just like this over Mammoth Volcano. And it was causing a thunderstorm. A localized storm that wasn't moving. I went and checked it on the radar. Usually thunderstorms travel and move with the currents of the wind. No, this was a stationary thunderhead that just kept boiling and boiling in one spot and creating weather over the mountain. And it was a cloud. It wasn't steam. It was a thunderhead that was shaped just like this. This shape is, hot gases going up, rising, and as they rise, they spread out a little bit, and you get this conical cone, ice cream cone shaped structure, okay, from thermal updrafts. Okay, you got hot air rising, that's an updraft, so you got thermal updrafts that create this ice cream cone type structure, okay? When I saw a thunderhead shaped, it was cloud, but shaped like this over a mountain, I kind of knew that there was heat coming out of the mountain. There wasn't necessarily steam plume, but there was heat coming out of it, and it was rising up and creating a plume like that. Did you guys see this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Didn't that look like a profile of a lion's head right there? Can we zoom in like this? Oh, yeah, we can. No way. No way, you guys. Look at that. I'm blown. Well, I'm not blown away. I've seen this stuff all over the place, but look at that lion head right there. Here, let's just get right up in it there, right there. Can we make it the whole screen? This last right there was best. Yeah. Impressive. The Lord works in mysterious ways, but this is definitely his handiwork right here. This is how he works in the clouds and structures like this. I was just talking about this structure, the shape of it. What is this, a skull right here, too? Wow. Anyways, quite the structure coming out of, or ash plume coming out of Ebu here. And what I was trying to say is if you ever see a thermal updraft this strong in this perfect type cone, ice cream cone shaped type structure over a mountain, an extinct volcano, and it's not like ash, and you just see a thunderhead doing that right there, you might want to check your area and check that volcano because I saw something very similar happen for 4 days in a row. It wasn't like it was just a 1 day thing. I actually captured it. We talked about it. I put it on the show and everything. So, a structure to look for. All right. And it's very defined here in the ash, but it can also create a cloud or an ash or a steam plume even in that structure. Amazing with the lion head on that. That was absolutely amazing. Ebu 16.4. Did we go through this all good? Okay, good. Yeah. Luatobi 8,000. Luatolo. Semaru 15. Dempo, our new one at Sumatra. Okay, remember Sumatra had kind of lightened up in color? Well, we have a new vent on it, Dempo. And you remember the other day it was just came online? Now look at it, it's doing 11,000 foot blasts. This new volcano is just pumping it away. All right, so we're seeing a lot of pressure being relieved out of Sumatra, out of this one. We're seeing a lot of pressure at Java out of that one. This is Lesser Sunda Islands. It's just off of Java. Ducono here, 10,000 feet. Popocatépetl in central Mexico, 19,000. Santa Guido, it's always 20 something. Fuego was another one. Here's Nevada del Ruiz again with 20 this time. So two blasts out of Nevada del Ruiz, a 20 and a 22, I think it was. Sangay 22, Reventador 15, Sabancaya 24. All right, so it just sound like a bunch of thousands of feet, but each time these are blasting more and more particulates into the air. Where can we get this image bigger? We'll just do it like we did before here. Something I want to talk about just real quick here. Whoops, one back. When you're looking at this ash plume, all these little particles that are going up into the air are going to make a raindrop. All right. So you're going to see a thunderstorm with, or, you just put this much amount of energy into the atmosphere. Expect to see this much thunderstorm activity kind of added to the weather now. each one of these towering plumes is like like a big drop in the bucket, but not in a bucket, more like a shot glass. All right. And the shot glass can only hold like 50 drops, right? So each drop counts a lot. Each one of these blasts counts a lot because it's putting a lot of particles up in the air. All right. Now, I think we're done with the volcano report. Amazing image right there. I'm going to have to take a little screen grab of that one, huh? We could do some reading to that one, huh? Yeah, maybe we'll do reading to that image tonight. I'll keep that one up. Because that's a cloud. That's a cloud of ash, isn't it? And there's like lips right here with a nose. There's another face right here. Come on, proportions don't just happen accidentally. They got to be precise proportions or it won't look right. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. I love that picture, man. That's awesome. All right. So real quick, let's do our weather forecast, and then we'll get into our spiritual report tonight. And as you can see on this loop here, let's just let it play one time real quick here. I'm beginning to... It's just this activity every day, afternoon, evening activity, over and over and over again. It's actually lightening up. It's not as bad as it was before. So that's good. It's good enough. Backward. Look at that thing just rotate away. That thing is crazy. Come on now. All right, so current conditions at nighttime of June 1st. We still have severe weather down here in Texas, Louisiana area. Everybody stay alert tonight because in the morning hours, there'll still be residual stuff down here in Texas. Then we go into the noon of tomorrow, the 2nd. There's the convection tomorrow. So if I use my pointer, northern Iowa and Minnesota area, okay, and then this globule up here, not necessarily right where the yellow spots are, but this area right there to watch out for at convection. Then at nighttime, you see the spread, okay? Part of it goes up into Canada, part of it northern Minnesota, very intense through Iowa tomorrow night. Okay, back down into Oklahoma, even down into Texas. Okay, and this isn't like a perfect QLCS quasi-linear, storm front here. It's individual pockets of intensity, and I've shown you with the sphere action as our other player in the weather. This is, kind of subject to change, but for the moment, these are our target areas. So if you're one of these target areas, you got family in there in that region, stay aware. Also, we're talking about severe weather here along the coast of Oregon, the mountain regions up in there too. And this is the nighttime of June 2nd. We back up a little bit. So you see noon. It's going to be deceiving. Just little clouds here and there building by noon. Then at convection, you'll see your severe weather pop up. But then at nighttime, it gets really spread out, really severe, even over here. Then as we go into the morning of the 3rd, a lot of it still around. Down here in Oklahoma, possibly Texas area, still up here in Iowa, Michigan, I'd watch out, Illinois. This glob right here could shift. It could change. It's not set in stone. So everybody that's, in this train, or the area of this train of weather, pay attention. All right, so that'll be back to this. This will be the morning of the 3rd. It dissipates around noon. Possible back there, but then we get into convection and nighttime, morning of the 4th. You see how there's hardly anything at nighttime and when the sun rises, it just boom, fires off right here around Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois area here. Up in here in Canada too, don't lose sight of that. Then kind of dissipates by noon. There's your energy at convection. Now, what I want to do here at the 4th, remember we were talking about the 4th before? It was when our impact was due. Right here, G2, G3, depending on how strong it is, it will intensify. It could intensify the weather. So here we are at the 4th. Is this squeezed into the frame here? There we go. I got to get the timestamps and everything in there. 5 a.m. This is 5 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so 6, 7, 8. 7 a.m. in this area on the 4th. And up here, we could possibly see intensification of that. Right here, where it dissipates, we might not see dissipation. We might see continuation. Then this will be convection of the 4th. All right, so added energy to this, possibly, which means it could string down. It might grow stronger. This low could deepen. It'll whip harder. We'll see. But here we are, convection of the 4th. We have severe weather. Add energy to that, possibly. Then the nighttime of the 4th. Okay, this is going to be very dangerous. This is 11 p.m., 12, 1 in the morning in this time zone. 1 in the morning for Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, just this whole area right here. Okay, not just that little yellow pocket, because we're talking about added energy from the sun. This is the M7 event that'll hit us right around the 4th, if that's the timing. It could hit sooner, it could hit later, but we're just going with what we have. Everybody, the convection of the 4th in Minnesota, Michigan, down into Iowa, even down into Kansas, this whole area, this storm is moving through. Everybody be on high alert, because at nighttime it does this. Be on high alert through the morning hours. There's the morning of the 5th, noon, convection, all through here, this whole band I would watch. Convection of the 5th, nighttime, morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 9th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime, 12th, ooh, look at that, ooh, ooh. This subject to change. We're a little ways out there now. We're halfway out. We're at 11 here, but that right there could be. We'll keep an eye on the 11th here. Nighttime of the 11th. 11/11. Think of that. 11 at night on the 11th. Let's see. We'll watch this as this continues, because that could be a very dangerous front right there. Through the morning hours, you see how it takes shape in the afternoon, severe at night, severe in the morning. That's a 985 millibar low up there. That's a pretty strong low. 984 right there. This will be the noontime of the 12th, this big, long QLCS right here. And it's, it's tilted a little more. It's not so northeast. But we'll see. Okay, convection here dissipates on the 12th, nighttime, morning of the 13th, noon, convection. This thing again on the 13th, convection the 13th, nighttime. Back up, noon, convection, nighttime. So watch that on the 13th. 14, noon, convection, nighttime. 15, noon. 15 in the morning, noon, convection, nighttime. 16 in the morning, noon, convection. Whoa. Noon, convection. Yeah, watch right there and back here. Convection, nighttime. When that slams together like that, hopefully that won't happen. That's so far out in the future. All right, let that loop play one more time so you can see the next 48 hours. That event right there is going to be our main concern. And this going in the 4th. All right, so current conditions, last little bit of severe weather. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow at noon, tomorrow at convection, starting to pop off up here. This could be, land or water spout making landfall. You never know. But nighttime event right there, going to be gnarly tomorrow night across the Middle Plains, even through the morning hours of going into the 3rd. All right, so there's our next dangerous event right there, is the convection from sundown tomorrow through the morning of the 3rd. And then after that will be this little event right here, the morning of the 4th. Remember, we got energy coming from the sun. That could be convective right there if we have the energy from the sun. So, but then by convection for sure up here in Minnesota, and nighttime there in Illinois. All right, so those are our two main ones to worry about. All right, let's get rid of some of this stuff and we'll get into our spiritual report tonight. And let me just pull down a couple of things here. Let's go to that. Why don't we? Okay, we got a few people here. Oh, Lady Gaga mocks God. She shouldn't have done that. See her crying? Think she learned a lesson? But I will take that full screen right there. Oh, that's way too big. There we go. Legs coming down here, a wing coming off here, a wing coming off over here. And we'll zoom in on this real quick because this one's nice and clear that you can. Maybe not. This is an angel that was caught hovering in a shaft of light over the sleeping child down. All right, there we go. There's a good shot of it. And we'll darken that a little bit. Can we look? There we go. Is that a little better so we can see? Actually, we can go full screen with it pulled back there. All right, so hopefully you can see this little angel hovering over this sleeping child. Okay. You can even see back here is some little demonic face back in here. Probably going to give this kid some nightmares, and this little angel's protecting this child right here. Okay. That is a real image taken from a security camera that's admissible as evidence in a court of law. Okay, so you need to take a minute to look at that. Tilt your head to the right. Hopefully you see it. I'll repeat it real quick here. Most of you guys can see it. Nobody's saying they can't see it. So, okay, so good. Wrap your head around that. That is the spiritual realm. It is real. All right. It's more real than what you see and feel and your five senses, okay? Because your five senses are temporary. It's temporal world here. You're not going to be here forever. So your five senses that you experience here on earth usually dictate your thoughts and the way you see and perceive things. Well, there is another realm, the spiritual realm. It's real. This is proof of it right here. And what a comforting image. You know, I've seen candles with angels hovering over sleeping children. You ever seen those, like, oh, religious candles? There's one famous scene where this angel's hovering over some children or whatever. Well, it's true. Angels do protect the children. Okay. They protect you too. Okay. They're real. And you can see this thing's kind of in this fuzzy shaft of light. Okay. It's almost like a hologram coming out of another dimension, this shaft of light projecting this little angel right here. And there were like 5 different pictures, but it only showed up in the one frame. So when I went searching around, I started setting my camera up by this couch, hoping to catch another angel. All right. So when all this started happening to me, I took some of this information to the media, but just laugh as a response, right? I just got laughed at. They didn't take it seriously. So I did something different. And one night I'm out in the garage and I'm taking my security camera and setting it up, little station, and have it take pictures of the, come on, please, can I have this working? Google, what's your problem? And so I take the camera after capturing the angel, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to point it at the couch and see if I can capture some more angels. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could get the kids to fall asleep in the playroom down there when they're, exhausted? Maybe the angels would return. So one night, come on, pull this up. My 2 kids got a new toy and they came home. They were excited to go down to the lower garage or man cave or play area, whatever, and go play with their new toy. And it was right after dinner. I said, okay. He said, we're going to stay up all night playing with this toy. I said, okay, well, I'll come down and check on you. About an hour later, it gets really quiet. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? Any parent knows when it gets too quiet, you need to go check, right? So I go down there and check on them, and they're passed out. I'm thinking, what's going on? You guys were going to play with your toy all night, right? Well, there they are, conked out, 7:30 at night. I woke them up, sent them up to the house, and they went to bed. They didn't go, get candy out of the drawer and watch a movie. No, they went to bed. And I was just thinking, how odd, And it wasn't until about a day or two later, I was still thinking how odd they did that. And then it occurred to me, oh my God, they were sleeping on the couch with the camera set up there. Duh. I better go back and check the camera. So I went through each frame looking for the little angel. I'm looking for this little thing, right? Okay, I'm looking all over and I see this one frame has this white streak going down the side right here. See that white streak? And I thought, it's in that white streak. But then I realized, wait a second. I put all of these on top of each other, all these pictures together in a flip book. It's like, 10 or maybe 12 frames or something here. And I put them all together. Google gives you this option where you can stack your pictures in their little thing here when they're boutique or whatever. So I use their option. I stack the pictures and then it plays the little animation, the video of the pictures stacked. And I was looking at this going, well, how come what's this white streak and how come the picture's twisting and warping? Did something bump the camera? but nothing bumped the camera. And I was like, well, what's going on here? And then I finally saw it. There's two angels. They're on their knees bowing. And this area here is a wing coming up and going down. This is the dark side, the inside of a wing. The head's right here. The other wing comes up and comes down. There's a dark spot in the middle of the wing here. There's a second angel over here. There's actually two angels. They're locked wing and wing here in the middle. They're on their knees and they're bowing. They're bowing to the camera. And if you can't see it, I'll try to give a quick little demonstration here. You know what? Let me pull it. Anybody even in the chat anymore? I think everybody here sees this already. So I shouldn't have to like explain it. The best way to see this is out of the peripheral vision. When you look straight at something, there's the optic nerve in the back of your eyeball, and it creates a blind spot right in the middle of your vision. So if you try to look straight at it, it's hard to see it. But if you like stare back here at the wall and just look at this through your peripheral vision, you'll see it a lot clearer. Oh, Leslie's still here. Let me just give a little bit more brightness right there. Okay, so real angels, you guys. This is real stuff. And that's why it looks weird and odd or whatever. It's the spiritual realm being captured electromagnetically on our new devices. You know, these digital cameras have better optics than our own eyes. And they're picking up, traces of electromagnetic residue left on video, left on audio as well in the EVPs. Okay. So here we have some angels on their knees bowing to the person who set up the camera. So the person who would inspect this film would see angels bowing to them. Okay. So there's some angels for you guys to kind of put your mind a little bit at rest here for a second. You know, we look at some really disturbing stuff on this channel, and it's for those of you who don't take it seriously, well, maybe you're not so affected by it. But when you see the reality of it and it starts to sink in, you're going to be a little shocked. So it's important that you understand everything. Spiritual realm's real. Okay. Demons, angels, God, Jesus, the whole story, it's all real. Why do you think the Bible lasted 2,000 years? It's still here. Why do you think everybody's fighting against it too? If it's not real, why would you resist? I mean, come on. If the Bible and Jesus is not real, why are you fighting against it? You ever thought about that? So they defeat their own purpose. They're kind of, well, not all there. But as you can see, here we have this event happening with these angels bowing here. All right. Now, what else can we pull up? No, I don't need that. And I don't need this. But something I do want to pull up here again, and it's important that we play this little reminder, kind of, that you're not tripping, you're not seeing things. This is happening to other people. And I want to, whoops, why didn't I just go like this instead? Okay.
See everything from miles away with this.
Oh, come on with the
commercial. This new military monocular is.
Yeah, you might want to get a military monocular. Get yourself a good something you can start to look around with.
I think I misunderstood at the beginning, but then I found the video and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? Let's just check this out. Let's take a look at this. So,
It is February 28th, 29th. I have gotten me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now. It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face
What is that?
looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is.
Hi,
There's the moon.
Cindy.
Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture on the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something? All right, here we go. There it is.
Look at that.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
What is that?
Camera makes it so clear.
There it is. It is February.
Okay, so that's the video of it, but what I want to do is just kind of get the one frame out of this. So that face is not
Might tell us that this is,
it's not in the clouds. It's out by the moon. The moon is illuminating it. All right, you can see the shadows, you can see where it's illuminated. Okay, so that's not a face in the clouds anymore. That's my face out by the moon. Oh, what would you think if you saw this happening to you and your face was out by the moon? I mean, wouldn't it kind of like throw you a little curveball? Well, after the stuff I went through before this, it doesn't throw me such a curveball anymore. It all makes sense. Okay, and it's important that it starts to make sense to you guys too, because it brings you peace and joy and relief. Should bring a little excitement too, You're pretty special here at this channel. Not everybody has found this channel. They don't recommend me. I'm hard to find. I go to all these different chat rooms. I'm like, hey, I'm going live in 10 minutes. And I get the same 20 people. But that's good. That shows who the real ones are. Doesn't it? Yeah, that makes you guys pretty special, doesn't it? And that is not the stack of notes I had pulled aside. What the heck happened? Oh, dear, dear, dear. Hang on just a second. We were way past this. Dang it. Give me 1 second here. I just had... Oh, dang. While you guys are looking at that for a second, take a deep breath. Think about those angels that you looked at. Think about the spiritual realm now is real. The spiritual warfare that we're going through day to day. We're in the salvage business of rescuing our day and helping other people salvage their day as well. You're to be a light to shine into other people's lives, so they too get to experience, well, this joy, this magic that we got. Wow, it's totally gone, huh? I had a whole thing. Just 1 second here. Well. How strange. Why did that totally go? What the heck happened to all of that? Bear with me for a second. I'm sorry, guys. I had this all pulled aside for tonight's reading, and I don't understand what happened. go? Oh, well. That was... We did all this already. And we're supposed to go to this next one. I don't get where it went. All right, well, we're just going to pick up, I guess, with something else here. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. I had the... All right, you know what? I think we will, yeah, this is it. Okay, cool. I found it. Thank you for your patience. So, interesting how I get my face showing up in the clouds, my face showing up in the clouds with a crown on it, and then my face showing up in the clouds with a crown on Easter, and ever since this activity follows me everywhere I go now. And if people in my town knew, they could look up and know who's in their town. I could like walk into your town and all the clouds would start acting real weird. And you'd be like, what's going on? All right, so when you're looking at that and you understand this is really my face, okay? So you're looking at me, you hear my voice. So as you turn your attention to me, feel the light of my presence shining upon you. Look at that face. Turn to me and feel the light of my presence now shining upon you. You're here at this channel, even on replay, it's shining on you. Open your mind and heart to receive my heavenly smile of approval. My heavenly smile of approval. See me? Smile. Okay, I'm smiling. That's my approval. Okay, so as you turn your attention to me, feel the light of my presence shining upon you. Open your mind and heart to receive my heavenly smile of approval. Let my gold-tinged love wash over you and soak into the depths of your being. As you are increasingly filled with my being, you experience joyous union with me. I in you and you in me. Huh. Aren't we? Pretty cool, huh? You're getting to know me. I'm getting to know you. I in you and you in me. Your joy in me and my joy in you become intertwined and inseparable. Inseparable. Does that make you feel good? All warm and fuzzy? Because we are inseparable. I suffuse your soul with joy in my presence, and at my right hand there are pleasures forevermore. So lie down in green pastures of peace. Learn to unwind whenever possible, resting in the presence of your shepherd. Okay, resting in the presence. Well, I took it down from the other one, but yeah, we'll just use that one. See how the kid's sleeping and the angels are watching over. You're resting in the presence of your shepherd. Okay. So take a few breaths, close your eyes, picture some green pastures, and lie down in green pastures of peace. Learn to unwind whenever possible. Okay? It's not always possible, But whenever possible, you feel like you're getting wound up again, learn to unwind whenever possible, resting in the presence of your shepherd, because this electronic age keeps my children wired much of the time, too tense to find me in the midst of their moments. You guys are wired for sound. There's so much stimuli coming at you. It's well, sensation overload. Okay, in this electronic age, everything's so instant. It has people just wired much of the time, and they're so tense they can't find me in their midst of their moments. But for you, I built into you, your very being, the need for rest. I built into you the need for rest. How twisted the world has become when people feel guilty about meeting this basic need. How much time and energy they waste by being always on the go, rather than taking time to seek my direction for their lives. I have called you to walk with me down paths of peace. I want you to blaze a trail for others who desire to live in my peaceful presence. I have chosen you. I have chosen you less for your strengths than for your weaknesses, which I amplify your need for me. Okay, so I have chosen you not for your strengths, but for your weaknesses, which amplify your need for me. Depend on me more and more, and I will shower peace on all of your paths. Not just some of your paths, all of your paths. Okay? Depend on me more and more, and I will shower you with peace. Okay? Come to me when you are hurting, and I will soothe your pain. Come to me when you are joyful, and I will share in your joy. Okay? Share in your joy, multiplying it many times over. I am all you need just when you need it. Your deepest desires find fulfillment in me alone. Do you see how that works? Now all of your desires are fulfilled because it's in me that they get filled, and you found me. Your deepest desires find fulfillment now, don't they? You see me, you hear me, your prayers are answered. You can breathe a sigh of relief. You see the spiritual realm. You understand that, wow, we have victory. You should be jumping for joy right now. The whole planet should be partying. Nope. Nope. They two spoiled brats insisting that they're right, and they're going to take it out on one another. So anyways, we don't need that. You have peace. Your deepest desires find fulfillment now in me. This age of self-help bookstores and all this other stuff abound, but what they're all trying to get you to think about is to take care of number one, making oneself the center of all things. The main goal of these methodologies is to become a self-sufficient and confident, right? All these self-help books are to take care of number one, right? And the main goal of these methods is self-sufficient and confident. But you, however, you have been called to take a road less traveled. Not everybody does it my way. It's the road that's less traveled. Because continual dependence on me, that's the road less traveled, is continual dependence on me. True confidence, real confidence, your true confidence comes from knowing that you are now complete in my presence, doesn't it? Ask yourself, do you have that true confidence yet? Are you knowing that you're complete now in my presence? You are in my presence. Whether you believe me or not, you are. So now what you going to do? You better start believing so you can benefit from these teachings, from these disciplines. Okay? And if you want true confidence, well, true confidence comes from knowing. Your faith is now complete. You are now knowing. Okay? True confidence comes from knowing. You are complete now in my presence. And everything you need has its counterpart in me. What you're feeling inside is me, and everything you need has its counterpart in me. I got all these people, billionaires, they got all their needs and all their cares taken care of. They don't pray, they don't need help. It's only the people that are in need. It's not until you finally really realize, oh, I need your help now, that you finally start to pray. Not everybody, though. Some people are wise and just come naturally. Now, we're talking about you, the person that is here at this channel, listening, seeing. As you become increasingly aware of my presence, you find it easier to discern the way you should go, don't you? Now that you see this, now that you understand, you see the spiritual warfare we're at, and you're using these tools and you're getting relief, and you're increasingly aware of my presence, all of a sudden, you're finding it easier to discern the way you should go now. You should be by now. If not, it's okay. Just keep practicing these disciplines. It's progress, not perfection. I'm not judging your performance. I'm here to teach you tools to help your life. Okay? As you become increasingly aware of my presence, you find it easier to discern the way you should go. You find it easier to discern the truth. When you watch the news now, and everybody thinks they're woke, you got the right side that thinks they're on the right because the left looks so stupid that the right's got to be right. Whoops, they missed it too. So, but not you, because you're aware of my presence. You find it easier to see right through their lies, don't you? Don't you now? You have these powers that I have now. You can see through the lies, can't you? Only when you know the truth can you see the lies. And let me tell you something about this world. This world is insane, okay? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Well, that's what we do here on this planet. It's called insanity, all right? And to see that this world is insane and that you have become aware of my presence. You see the insane world now. And now you see your part now. You should find it easier which way you should go. Okay? And this is one of the practical benefits of living close to me. So instead of wondering about what is on the road ahead or worrying about what you should do if or when, or can you concentrate on staying in communication with me? So you're all worried about all this stuff. What you should be worried about is, can you stay in communication with me? When you actually arrive at a choice point, I will show you which direction to go. Many people are so preoccupied with future plans and decisions that they fail to see the choices they need to make today. You missed today's choices. You were so into the future and tripping about what's going to happen tomorrow that you missed today's choices and all the blessings too. So without any conscious awareness, people make their habitual responses. People who live this way find a dullness creeping into their lives. They sleepwalk through their days, following well-worn paths of routine. How many of you were sleepwalking through the day, following a well-worn path of routine? Y'all were. Every single one of you were until you came here. And things are going to change, so you're not going to be able to follow a well-worn path of routine. You won't be able to sleepwalk through your days. You will be aware. You won't be these people who find their dullness creeping into their lives. You now have excitement creeping into your life, don't you? Oh boy, don't you? You have an excitement that few on this planet do. And everybody's looking around for the rapture. Oh, it's got to be coming. It's got to be coming. The rapture, the rapture, the rapture. The word rapture is not in the Bible. A lot of disappointed people. And then they're going to give up on Christianity because the rapture didn't happen. Well, it's happening right now. It's just not the way Hollywood portrayed it. And one of my favorite men out there, I want to get his attention and get him over here to this channel because he wants to be raptured so bad. But he's kind of stuck in thinking it's going to be like this or like that. And there's going to have to be a few more signs that happen that'll change his mind a little bit more. And then when he finally sees, like you guys do, what the rapture really is, then he will enjoy it thoroughly and feel inside. It's that when you actually arrive at that choice point, and then you finally like, okay, I don't know. Well, I show you which direction to go. And you're here. Yeah, don't be the people that sleepwalk through their days, just following the same path of routine. Okay? Because I, the creator of the universe, am the most creative being imaginable. I will not leave you clinging in deeply rutted paths. Instead, I will lead you along fresh trails of adventure, revealing to you things that you did not know. So, it's important to stay in communication with me and follow my guiding presence. Yep, that's one more. Here's the closer. Okay, yep, that's this lesson. So one last one here, you guys. Okay, now this might hurt your little feelings a little bit, or don't get offended, okay? But it's important that you get this perspective and do not expect to be treated fairly in this life. We're looking at injustice. We see what's going on. Do not expect to be treated fairly in this life. People will say and do hurtful things to you, things that you don't deserve. And when someone mistreats you, try to view it as an opportunity to grow in grace, to grow in forgiveness. Okay, take the higher road, be the bigger person. When someone mistreats you, try to view it as an opportunity to grow in grace, to grow in forgiveness, to grow, so much, to grow in love, in peace, in harmony. Try this. See how quickly you can forgive the ones who has wounded you the most. Let's try that. See how quickly you can forgive the ones who have wounded you the most. It's not that easy. You want it to be quickly, but sometimes things have a little process. Time and distance have a tendency to heal wounds. And then later on, you come back, make amends. When someone mistreats you, try to view it as the opportunity to grow that it is. Quit looking at it the wrong way. It's an opportunity to grow. Then see how quickly you can forgive the ones who have wounded you. Pretty soon you'll be able to forgive them pretty quickly. You'll be like, you know what? They know not what they do. Huh? How many of you guys, after being at this channel for a while, you're struggling out there having to go, wow, these people, I have to forgive them. They know not what they do. They're wandering around like a bunch of zombies, following a bunch of criminals that are distracting them to the slaughter. They know not what they do. Okay? So try to forgive them. See how quick you can learn to forgive. And don't be concerned about setting the record straight. Instead of obsessing about other people's opinions of you, keep your focus on me. Ultimately, it is my view of you that counts, right? So what are you so worried about other people's view of you is when it's my view of you that counts? And I've already told you I love you. So what's the problem? You should be rejoicing. You should be at peace. But understand, don't expect the world to treat you fairly. That's how we grow, is overcoming these adversities. If there was no adversity, there'd be nothing to overcome, right? If you were treated fairly your whole life and just given you everything, you'd be a spoiled little brat. It's when you're treated unfairly and you swallow hard and you just overcome it and you move on. That's what brings out your character. And remember, it's my view of you that counts. So as you concentrate on relating to me, remember, I've clothed you now in my righteousness and holiness. What that means is you have seen this information. You have heard my voice. You have heard my teachings. You are clothed now with righteousness. Okay? The holiness, all right? Holiness is not a goody-goody. Holiness means you've been set aside for a sacred purpose. Anybody at this channel fits that definition. You are set aside for a sacred purpose, aren't you? Because you're at this channel. So that's holiness. So your holiness, you're being selected for a divine assignment, okay? And you're, whoops, come back here. I want to get this all correct. In your righteousness. So you see, you hear me, you're clothed in that righteousness now, and you see that you are pulled aside for a special purpose. So you have been clothed in my righteousness and holiness. I see you attired in these radiant garments, which I bought for you with my blood. This also is not fair. But it's a pure gift. And when others treat you unfairly, remember that my ways with you are much better than fair. My ways are peace and love, which I have poured out into your heart by my Spirit. Okay? As you concentrate on relating to me, remember I have already clothed you in my righteousness and holiness. You now have responsibility. You're on a mission from God. You are set aside for sacred purpose. Your mission on your mission from God is to reflect me into others' lives, help them salvage their days, teach them the techniques of salvage, of salvation. You guys getting this yet? My ways are peace and love, which I have poured out into your heart with my spirit. Okay? I love you guys. I miss you guys. You know what? Do I tell them about the kid with the button? Really? Okay. I got a quick little story for you guys. As you can see, in a world of lies, the truth sounds crazy. Okay? So this looks crazy because you're so used to seeing the regular world. But that world is a world of lies. So in a world of lies, the truth sounds crazy. Well, I have been to the Crazy Farm. I have been in several of your wonderful institutions, and I have helped every single person, even the doctors. Okay? Yeah, they didn't see that one coming. They thought they were going to help me, and I turned around and helped them. They were like, whoa, who is this dude? But in one of these facilities was an individual, and I don't even, I think, I don't even know his name. We all didn't know his name. We just called him Joe. But this individual would push buttons. He had this thing, it was a mental disorder. He liked to push buttons, and he would push the button on the fire alarm. He would push the button on the code panel on the wall. He would, oh my goodness, if they're, we're all trying to watch TV, hide the remote from this guy, because he'd hunt the remote down and push, just to push the buttons, just a button pusher. And when I came into the facility, I met said individual already with a button they supplied to this man. He would have an anxiety attack and he would push his button, right? And that button was like strapped to one hand so he could not drop it. It was always at his disposal. He could have this button to push all the time. He was the button pusher guy. And what was really weird about this guy is, if he did not have a button to push, if there was like not a remote control or some phone or some little button, a device with a button or something to push, he would come over and find out what buttons you had, and he would push your buttons. Like spiritually, like emotionally, he would push your buttons. And I was like, what is wrong with this guy? No wonder why they give him a button. All right? It keeps him occupied. It takes care of his little, his anxiety twitch or whatever. Whenever he feels anxiety, he pushes the button and he's right back to the button and the button and the button. So he's the button guy. And we didn't know really what his name was, so we all called him Joe. And it was just the other day that Joe showed up on TV running for office. And I am trying to tell you guys, it's pretty obvious, but a lot of people are going, no, what? Do not give the button to the button pusher guy, to Joe. Oh, whoops. You did that already? Oh, it's been happening for a while? Yeah, you guys have been stuck in this phase of suspended animation with Joe the button pusher over there, and you're lucky you hadn't pushed it yet. To tell you the truth, we're insane for letting this regime steal power in this country like they did. So, don't give the button to Joe. He's gonna push it, okay? And the nurses are like, what are you talking about? No, don't do it. Don't do it. For the sake of all of us, you don't want this gentleman with the button to, the one that destroys us all. Yeah. not a good individual to be handing the responsibility of that to. Yeah, it's can't believe they walk in and install them. What are you going to do when they install them again? Anyway, that's not going to happen. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. You should be able to tell. Look around. Look up in the sky. Look in the clouds. You'll see me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds. And if you see me in the clouds, it's kind of weird. It's odd. You get caught up in it. You get intrigued in it. You're caught up with me in the clouds. And if you're caught up with me in the clouds and you've come here and you're here live with me, even in replay, in the cyberspace, the air, you have met me in the air of cyberspace. You're technically raptured. Your faith has been completed to knowledge. And now you guys are free to live and live abundantly. Okay? I love you. God bless you. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. You guys, I love you. Bye. Should be able to tell by now.